Hey everyone, welcome to Craft Central Designs. I have for you just one more Valentine's Day wreath. I actually thought I was done with Valentine's Day decor, but this sign from the Dollar Tree persisted in calling my name, and every time I saw it, I had a vision for this piece, and I felt compelled to see it through, and I just love the way it turned out, and I hope you do as well. Okay, let me show you how I created this lovely Valentine's Day wreath. Let's look at the materials that we will need to create this piece. I have there 2 rolls of deco mesh, white from Hobby Lobby, as well as some white pipe cleaners that I also purchased at Hobby Lobby. That deco mesh was 40% off. I have here a 14-inch wire wreath frame from the Dollar Tree. And there we have this sign that I thought was so pretty with the Happy Valentine's Day message and the Cupid at the bottom and the glittery pinks and reds. I'm going to be placing that in the center of the wreath, and I'm going to use my deco mesh bundles to frame that sign. The deco mesh from Hobby Lobby, as I mentioned, was 40% off. It's normally around $7, but if you were to purchase deco mesh from the Dollar Tree, you would need a minimum of 6 to 7 rolls. So it's actually just as economical to purchase the better quality deco mesh when it's on sale at Hobby Lobby. I had there those red glitter hearts from the Dollar Tree, and the white ribbon with the glitter hearts I got at Hobby Lobby as well, 40% off, but they do have pretty 2.5-inch Valentine's Day ribbons at the Dollar Tree. I'm going to be using the woodland method. I cut my deco mesh in 16-inch pieces. I'm going to be placing 2 of those pieces together to make one bundle, and there's going to be 22 bundles on this wreath. I used all of the deco mesh in those 2 rolls. I'm creating the woodland method. Roll it up, scrunch it with my fingers all the way up to the other side, and I place a clip on it, and then I put the 2 pieces together to create one bundle. And again, it's 22 bundles on that wreath frame to make this wreath. Put your pipe cleaner around, twist it in the back, and there you have a beautiful bundle made with a really, really beautiful deco mesh. And I'm going to show you again how I made that bundle. I roll it up a couple of times, put a clip on it, which I got from the Dollar Tree. Now I'm going to roll the other side a couple of times, scrunch it up with my fingers till I meet up with the other side, clip that together, and then I do one more piece, roll it up, put a clip on it, turn it around, roll it up again a couple of times, scrunch it up with my fingers till I meet with the other side, and then I place those 2 pieces together to create one bundle. I take a half a pipe cleaner, wrap it around, twist it a couple of times, and you can see there my idea to frame that beautiful sign with that deco mesh. And you can see that sign fits beautifully sitting on that wreath, and how that deco mesh will be so pretty around the perimeter of that sign. I'm going to use the 3rd wire from the outside to place all of my deco mesh bundles. I'm going to take each of my bundles, open up the pipe cleaners in the back, and I'm going to press it down firmly on that 3rd wire from the outside. Pull it up snug against the wire. You don't want it sliding around any more than need be. And then twist your pipe cleaner in the back a couple of times. And then you're going to go ahead and fill up that entire wreath frame with the 22 bundles that you created. If you're going to do this with deco mesh from the Dollar Tree, it's going to take twice that amount of bundles. So not only are you using the same amount of money that you would use for Dollar Tree deco mesh to fill up this wreath, but you're also saving time by having less bundles. Okay, so now we're going to prepare the sign. So I took a full size pipe cleaner, and I'm just going to put a couple of pipe cleaners on that back of that sign. Now, if you're going to be placing your wreath in a hot environment or a very warm environment, you may want to use a little bit of Aleene's tacky glue as well. You could also put a little piece of felt over that pipe cleaner. Now I'm going to start preparing my sign and my deco mesh for this wreath. Now what I'm going to be doing is pulling away my deco mesh to the outside or toward the outside of that wreath. Now for the inner wire, I don't want to see that inner wire through the center of my wreath. So I'm going to leave a little bit of the deco mesh on the inner wire, just enough to cover up the wire so it's not unsightly when you look through the center of the wreath. But otherwise, pull all the deco mesh toward the outside of the wreath. It takes a few minutes to arrange it, but it's well worth the effort because this wreath turns out so pretty. I was pointing there to a little hole in the top of the sign. We're going to take care of that with a little narrow ribbon bow. But you see, I'm still working there on arranging my deco mesh. And now when you look into that wreath, for the most part, those inner wires are hidden. Again, just a little bit of the deco mesh on the inner wire of the wreath and pull most of it toward the outside. Now I went ahead and attached my sign with my pipe cleaners. I'm going to be going around the back of that wreath, snipping off the excess pipe cleaners and then poking them back down through the deco mesh to clean up the back of the wreath, but also so that those pipe cleaners don't scratch the surface wherever you're going to be hanging this wreath. So I'm going to take a narrow ribbon. I am going to be using one that I had purchased at 40% off at Hobby Lobby, but they do have very pretty narrow ribbons at the Dollar Tree. So you can make a finger bow or whatever type of little bow that you prefer, whatever method you prefer to make it. I always make my bows exactly the same way. I fold over my loops, twist it in the center, and I'm just going to apply a little pipe cleaner around that bow, and I'm just going to create a little center loop. Now I'm going to be gluing that little bow over that hole at the top of the heart. And that's going to cover up that hole, but it's also going to create a little small, pretty embellishment for the top of the wreath. And again, if this is going to be on the outside, anything that you hot glue, you may want to put a dab of Aleene's tacky glue as well for an extra hold. Now, instead of placing that bow on there with the pipe cleaners pointing downward, I'm going to switch it up and turn it so that the tails of the little bow are on the top. And then I'm just going to angle my tails, and then I'll use a little dab of hot glue just to place those tails exactly like I want them on the wreath. And that looks so pretty at the top of that sign there. It's pretty so far, so good. Looking beautiful. Now I'm going to take my pack of red glitter hearts and snip off the sticks that they were mounted on. And I'm just going to place them around the wreath. I'm only going to use 6 of those hearts because I think that the sign and the beauty of the deco mesh ruffle around the sign is really enough that I don't really need a lot of extra embellishments. That's just my preference. You do you if you want more. They did have some pink glitter hearts at the Dollar Tree, but they weren't the right shade of pink, so I didn't use them, and I just focused on the red glitter elements that I got from the red glitter on the sign. I placed those around, little dab of tacky glue and some hot glue, and those are well adhered. I cut a piece of that 1.5-inch ribbon, about 16 inches long. I scrunched it in the center, and I took a little tiny piece of pipe cleaner and wrapped it around. What I'm doing here is creating a hanger for my wreath. Now I can always shorten this if I want the hanger shorter, but if I leave it longer at the onset, then it gives me that flexibility to either make it shorter or longer. So I'm going to be wrapping that ribbon around the wreath wire. And I want to be certain that I have my ribbon placed properly so that my sign, if I could speak, I'm sorry, so that my sign hangs straight, because I have the Happy Valentine's Day wording and the Cupid at the bottom, and I want that that sign to hang so that those two are vertical. So I want to make sure that I'm hanging my wreath and placing my hanger in the proper place. So you can use those little pink clips from the Dollar Tree to help you out there. But you notice that I keep flipping my wreath over so that I can make sure from the front that it's going to be hanging properly. And I'm also going to use a pipe cleaner wrapped around the wire and that wreath ribbon hanger. And I'm just going to twist that pipe cleaner, and that will just provide some extra stability. Notice on the interior of that wreath how I pulled in that deco mesh toward the center. And again, that was to hide that center, that inner ring, if you will. Now I'm going to make a bow for my hanger. This is a 1.5-inch ribbon. They don't have a 1.5-inch ribbon at the Dollar Tree, but they do have 2.5. So if you want to make a bow for your hanger, you could simply make a 2-loop bow, or 1 bow on each side with a center loop, or you could use 2 loops on each side or 4 loops altogether. They have some very pretty Valentine's Day ribbon. I was in a number of Dollar Trees in this past week, and they still have a lot of Valentine's Day items to craft with. So it's not too late if you want to make this wreath. So I created a 2-loop bow on each side with around 8 inches on those larger loops, and then I did another loop, a single loop on each side, resting right on top of the 2 loops on each side, and that's about 6 inches. I placed my pipe cleaner around there again, so I actually have 3 loops on each side. 2 are larger, 1 is a little bit smaller. And now I'm just going to create a center loop by folding that loop under, catching it with my thumb, taking the pipe cleaner from the back, poking it through that center loop to secure it, pull it around, and give it a twist. I have a number of bow tutorials, starting from very basic all the way up to more advanced, if you would like to learn how to make bows like I do. I have that tail on the top. I'm going to cut it off about the length of the tail on the bottom, and I'm just poking it through that center loop, then marrying it up with the other tail. And this is going to be attached to my ribbon hanger that I created. Now I decided I was going to curl the tails of my bow. And I decided once I placed that bow at the top that I wanted to add 2 more tails. And this is very doable. So I cut a piece of ribbon around 16 inches. And I'm going to open up my pipe cleaners, place them vertically on the bow. And I'm going to simply pop that piece of ribbon that I just cut right there in the center. Make sure that your ribbon is facing forward with the right side facing forward on the wreath. And I'm just going to add that right to my bow, very simply. Twist it under my pipe cleaner, and there you go. Now we have 4 tails. And I just love to curl a 1.5 inch ribbon. I think it just adds such a beautiful touch to a piece. So now what I'm going to do is take my pipe cleaners, wrap them around that little area where I placed the little tiny pipe cleaner on the ribbon hanger, and I'm going to attach my bow nice and snug to that ribbon. Now at this point, if you want to use the excess pipe cleaner, you could create a loop out of the pipe cleaner for a hanger, or you could cut it off and just simply hang your wreath by the bow right there. That's what I'm pointing out. That will sit very nicely on any kind of wreath hook. Now I have all those tails, and what I'm going to do is take a roll from one of my deco meshes, and I'm going to wrap that ribbon around and around that roll, and then I take both hands and I squeeze it, pull the roll off, and there you have a beautiful curl. Now I like to angle the ends of my ribbon, but you could as well dovetail, whatever your choice is. And I'm going to curl all 4 of those tails. And this is going to look so pretty on the top of this wreath. I'm just shaping my bow up there a little bit. And I do the other 2 tails, and here we have this beautiful wreath. Framed with deco mesh, with sign in the center, a lovely bow, and I just love this one. I think it's so pretty. If you like what you see on my channel, please consider subscribing if you're not currently a subscriber. And leave me your comments and give this video a thumbs up. Okay, until next time, you all take care.